Ron has been a first responder and in the preparedness arena for years. Ron has lived in earthquake country, where quite a few large earthquakes hit San Diego, and the state of Ron and his crews have saved many people's lives. Ron has spoken to hundreds of community groups, helped organize preparedness fairs where he has lived. Ron has met hundreds of people and he valued in those communities and continued to work and lecture people on the complex work of emergency/disaster preparedness and emergency management. Ron Have spent 24 years in law enforcement and have an extensive background in law enforcement and tactics. His career was spent in homicide, traffic accident investigation, weapons and tactics, and personal/executive protection and emergency management. Ron Tyler has been a missionary for his church and is now a gospel doctrine instructor. If you would like to support our program and what we are doing, you may make donations to paypal.me/mgmtsop591, paypal.me/rltnspd@hotmail.com, Venmo @RonaldTyler17.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We welcome you to our program tonight. We've got a lot of things to cover and only a short time to get there. We're coming on this program very late, a lot later than I wanted to do, but we had some things we needed to do to make sure we could come on this program tonight and stay on the air. YouTube has been doing everything they possibly can to make sure our program is abbreviated or interrupted, and I'm not going to put up with it any longer. I've taken all kinds of special efforts tonight to make sure we could stay on the air and be there for all of you. That's my utmost feeling about everything, okay? I told you when I first started this broadcast over 6 years ago now that we would do that for you, because we believe in giving you the essentials when it comes to emergencies that are happening here and around the globe. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing it. I'm having a hard time because I'm being harassed by a lot of different people, but I'm still able to do what I'm able to do, and I'm going to do it. Okay? I promise you that. I'm going to continue doing that. Now, with that said, I want to start first talking about President Trump and our United States Congress. President Trump has been working hard to make sure that we had the things necessary to come forward and help our country. He's tried to put America first. I believe President Trump has tried to put America first. He's had a hard time because even our own people, the GOP, are now trying to stab him in the back. Before he had the Democrats beating him up, even sending Democrats such as Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer out to the streets to cause problems, and then a heckler from the Congress, Miss Chatfield, she came out and told President Trump that she wanted him gone. And she told her constituents to do whatever they could to stop President Trump on her birthday, which is March 29th. If I had said that, if I as a person had said that, I would have been in jail by now. But she's a United States Congresswoman, and she's still there. Unreal. Totally unreal. Pelosi's done it. Chuck Schumer's done it. Maxine Waters has done it. And this congressman in Texas has also done it. Incredible. But now the United States Congress is also trying to stop Trump. First, they caved on a speaker election. Then last month they fell in line on a budget vote, and again on a decisive government funding bill. But now it seems the House Conservatives are ready to make a stand. Speaker Mike Johnson is staring down the most significant internal revolt that he's faced all year long, one that threatens his own plans to advance the Republican agenda throughout this country, Republican legislative agenda throughout this country, one that even President Trump has been so far unable to squelch. Dozens of House representatives are undecided or outright opposed to rubber stamping a Senate-approved budget bill, a budget blueprint for the GOP domestic policy megabill, the megabill that will slash spending throughout this country for the first time. And Republicans are now trying to stop him from doing it. And an all-out whip effort from Johnson and his leadership team, including a private meeting last night between Trump and key holdouts, has only produced modest gains. If Johnson and Trump, Speaker Johnson and Trump can't flip most of them in the next 48 hours, lawmakers will start to board flights for a 2-week recess, denying the president a show of legislative progress as financial markets wobble over his tariff promises. So far, President Trump has gotten other countries to fall in line with these tariffs. Trump has worked very hard. 50 countries now are falling in line with President Trump and coming down with their tariffs. As a result, President Trump has now given the tariffs 90 days. Given his tariffs 90 days. If the countries don't come in line, his tariffs will. But so far, 50 countries have fallen in line. They are willing to reduce the tariffs that they are charging American people for products from outside this country. But now it's coming down to a stalemate with our own Republican people, our own conservatives. Why am I even talking about this? Because, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, it's necessary. We need to stand up and say no to these GOP holdouts. If you are a GOP, your state is represented by GOP people, Republican congressmen and senators. You need to tell them to vote on the budget bill. Vote on the budget bill. We only have another 24 hours to get it passed. Otherwise, it's going to be 2 weeks. 2 weeks. President Trump has gotten the tariffs going along. 50 countries are falling in line. Now it's up to our own lawmakers to pass a budget bill, slash spending across the board. We cannot afford to hold out. We cannot afford to hold out. I'm just telling you. So please, folks, if your senators and congressmen are holdouts on this mega bill, tell them to pass it. Tell them to pass the bill before the end of business tomorrow. It's absolutely essential. And I will give you an update tomorrow evening about it. That's the number one. Number two, I want to talk about what is happening with the FBI and the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Agency, the ATF, or the ATFE, as they want to be called now. Kash Patel, when he took over the FBI, also took over the ATFE, okay? But he's now been removed from that position as the ATF director. The ATF has now got an appointed director, okay? He's been replaced by U.S. Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll. Kash Patel has been replaced by Secretary Daniel Driscoll, okay? Driscoll will continue to serve as the Army Secretary while he oversees the ATF, which is part of the Justice Department. Patel also had an unusual setup. serving as both the FBI director and the acting ATF director. He was sworn in as the ATF's acting director earlier this year after he was also confirmed as FBI director. Patel is now not clear. Actually, it's not Patel. Our government has not been completely clear since when Patel was removed. However, it's been a good thing because FBI Director Patel can now go after bigger fish. He can start to process the FBI as the FBI should be run. Okay? Before that, he was largely absent from the ATF because he's been holding on to his role as the FBI director. Now the ATF will have a director, and they'll go forward. The ATF works with local law enforcement to investigate gun crimes, and it is responsible for regulating the sales and licensing of firearms based on laws Congress passes. Okay, that's what's going on. So now Kash Patel can go about his law enforcement duties in the FBI, along with Assistant Director Dan Bongino. They're doing a fabulous job, working even with Ms. Noem, who is the Homeland Security Director as well. They're working hand in hand, doing what it takes to secure this country. They're doing a bang-up job. Okay? Now, I want to talk about earthquakes. Let's go over and talk about earthquakes here. Let's go to USGS map here. Okay? One of the biggest earthquakes today hit over in Papua New Guinea. Let's talk about that. It's just a 5.0 earthquake. Just a 5.0 earthquake, but guess what? There's actually two 5.0 earthquakes. This earthquake right here hit at 4:29 a.m. this morning Eastern Time. The next quake hit at 4:44. Unreal, huh? Just 15 minutes later. Then this afternoon, we had a 4.3 earthquake aftershock. So we had a 5.0 earthquake originally, right there. Then we had an aftershock of another 5.0. That's incredible. That's incredible. Two earthquakes just off the coast of Papua New Guinea. On top of that, we've had another aftershock this afternoon. This happened at 3:08 p.m. this afternoon. It's a 4.3 earthquake. 4.3 moderate earthquake here. Okay? That's what's happened here. I got woken up early this morning by that earthquake. Then something else has happened. Okay? Over here in Tonga, or Fiji, I'm sorry. Over here in Fiji, we had an earthquake. Okay? This is a 4.4 earthquake. This earthquake happened last night. Okay? This happened last night after we went off the air. But remember when I left the air last night, what I told you? We had already had two 4s, a 4.5 and a 4.7. And I told you that there would be coming a 5.3 to 5.6 earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. So far, that hasn't happened. But this 4.4 earthquake is also a deep quake. This is 563 kilometers deep, which means we're going to have another 5.2 earthquake also here within the next 3 to 10 days. So now we're going to have at least 3 5.2 earthquakes and larger. 3 5.2 earthquakes and larger within the next 10 days. But that's not all, folks, there's more. Look at this one in the south part of the Fiji Islands. This is also deep quake, a semi-deep quake, I should say. This is only 369 kilometers deep. It's moderately deep. This is a 5.0 earthquake. a 5.0 earthquake. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to propagate another earthquake from this, because this would not be much of an earthquake, because it's a 5.0 earthquake already. It's only moderately deep. But however, we're going to have 5 large earthquakes here in this region: Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu, Legacy Islands, Solomon Islands, within the next 3 to 10 days. We're going to have 3 5.0 larger earthquakes within the next 3 to 10 days. So now I've told you about 2 large earthquakes and some moderate earthquakes here. Let's go over to the Indian Ocean, over here to the mid-Indian Ridge here. The mid-Indian Ridge here. This is the 5.3 earthquake here. A 5.3 earthquake here. This is 10 kilometers deep over here in the Indian Ocean. Now I'm going to skip out of the Pacific Ocean, and I want to go over to what else? What do you think I'm going to? The Atlantic Ocean. Yesterday we showed you an earthquake here. Okay? We showed a 5.3 earthquake here, but guess what? Now we've had another one. This is another 5.3 earthquake in the central mid-Atlantic. Another one. So now we've had 2 5.3 earthquakes here. One yesterday and one today. This is also 10 kilometers deep. 6.2 miles deep. Folks, guess what? That means we have 2 5.3 earthquake seismic energy going up through the mid-Atlantic fault. 2 energy cycles going up through the mid-Atlantic fault now. That could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous, as this whole fault is actually expanding. The mid-Atlantic fault is expanding, folks. It's expanding. It's pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction. On the western side, it's pushing Greenland, Canada, and also the United States and northern Mexico in a south-southwesterly direction. Now, this expanded large energy here was not expected. So this could be spelling trouble. Could be spelling a lot of trouble. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on the East Coast, because by then we should get a good idea of what these earthquakes are doing here in the mid-Atlantic. Expanding the mid-Atlantic ridge here. Expanding the mid-Atlantic ridge here. That's important. We need to know what's going on, because all of us are going to face earthquakes here in Europe and Africa. We already are. But I'm going to spend special attention tomorrow on what's going on here in Western Europe and what's going on here in the Western world here in Greenland, Canada, the United States, and northern Mexico. With all this energy here, we need to know what's going on. And this is actually emergency status. If anything happens between now and tomorrow, I will be coming on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. I promise you that. Joe Shinpaw is in the chat here. Joe's become a regular listener and viewer of this program, which I really appreciated, Joe. Thank you. He's saying hello from Arkansas. Start getting your gardens and seeds in the ground. Start getting your garden seeds and plants in the ground. My grocery store was very low on those. 2 days ago, they were well stocked. Something's going on. That's just me. Joe, no, it's not just you. My wife and I went to the grocery store today, earlier. What we saw was less seed available. Less seed is now available. My wife and I are going to another store that's specifically for farmers and people in this area, because this area is very heavily agricultural. We're going to check tomorrow at what they call Rural King here to check and see where their seeds are at this point in time. Up until now, they've had plenty of seed, but the store today did not have hardly any seed left. It's incredible. But we're going to see. Richard Smith says it's still snowing in Nova Scotia. That's wild. That's totally wild. Snowing again in Nova Scotia. I honestly thought that things would start to mellow out, moderate out over Nova Scotia, Canada, and Eastern Canada. That's wild to hear that that's going on. It's wild. Now let's go back to the Pacific Ocean here. Okay, let's go back here to the Pacific. We told you about the South Pacific Islands, except over in New Zealand, where we have about 14 earthquakes today. But of course, USGS is not going to talk about it because they don't believe they have to. Let's go over to the Timor region in the Banda Sea here. This is a 4.5 earthquake, moderate earthquake in the Timor region. This is eastern Indonesia here, east of Java. 4.5 earthquake. This is 174 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Okay, north of there. This is Tobelo, Indonesia. This is another large earthquake. This is another large earthquake here. We are having earthquakes here. There are 18 earthquakes here in the Indonesia area. 18 earthquakes here in the Indonesia area. USGS not showing them. They don't believe they have to. We want to talk about Myanmar real quick. Okay? First this. This is another aftershock. This is just another aftershock of that 8.0 earthquake here in Myanmar just over a week ago. 3.5 moderate earthquake, 3.5 small earthquake here, aftershock. An aftershock of that devastating earthquake. This is 10 kilometers deep. Also, this is a 4.7. This is a moderate 4.7 earthquake here. Also 10 kilometers deep. Now, it's hard to get information out of Myanmar. Why? Because the government won't let us get it. The government will not allow reporters over there to get information. So we have to rely on citizen reporters telling other people what's going on and putting that out to the internet where we can get a hold of it. But we're still having a hard time. There are now approximately 3,000 dead. There are approximately 3,000 people that have died as a result of that earthquake in Myanmar. And that is going to go up. Okay? It's passed far beyond the time of finding people that are alive. Now, this is not a rescue operation now, it's a recovery operation. We have people from around the world here in Myanmar trying to help these people recover. It's going to be a long, hard, drawn-out process. There's a lot of damage from Myanmar south to Thailand. Lots and lots of damage. We're going to see what happens in the near future. And as I get information about more information about Myanmar, I'll pass it on. Let's go over to Taiwan. Taiwan has had another large earthquake right here, just on the eastern coastline of Taiwan. It's a port city here. This is a port city. The port city of Yilan, Y-I-L-A-N, Taiwan. This is a large earthquake. A magnitude 5.0 earthquake hit in northeastern Taiwan earlier today. The quake struck at a depth of 70 kilometers deep near Taipei. Yilan fire authorities told the press that there are no immediate reports of damage or injuries. One person from the Fire Bureau said they felt the building shake briefly when the quake first hit. This was just a large earthquake, 5.0 earthquake. The National Fire Agency said there had been no reports of damage anywhere on the island. Train services, including high-speed rail, were not affected by the quake, although Taipei's underground metro temporarily reduce speed of their trains. Taiwan is frequently hit by earthquakes due to the location on the edge of two major tectonic plates near the Pacific Ring of Fire, which the USGS says is the most seismically active area in the world. This last major quake occurred today, okay? But the last major earthquake last year was April 2024. We reported on it, and it was a 7.4 earthquake. We reported on it that it was much larger as an 8.0. The strongest in 25 years. The strongest since 1999. At least 17 people were killed in that quake last year. That quake last year also triggered landslides and severely damaged buildings around Hualien, which is just south of here. It was the most serious earthquake in Taiwan since a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit in 1999. Some 2,400 people died in that quake, making it the deadliest natural disaster in Taiwan's history, 1999. Since then, Taiwan has updated and enhanced its building codes to incorporate quake-resistant construction methods, just like the United States has, such as steel bars that allow a building to sway more easily when the ground moves. Famous for its cutting-edge tech firms, Taiwan has built up an advanced early warning system, much like the West Coast of the United States. That advanced system also can give the public and the meteorologists and the news media potential serious ground shaking where they're going to know about it within seconds of the shaking. Much like the United States only has seconds. It's not going to get any better than that for at least the time being. That system has been enhanced over the years to incorporate new tools as smartphones and high-speed data connectivity. Even some of the most remote parts of Taiwan are getting that technology. Some parts of California don't even have that technology yet. Most of Washington and Oregon do. The leadership change in Taiwan came early, and now it's happening. It's happening. And Taiwan is now able to take care of business. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about these earthquakes so far? Okay? Let's go out here to the Honan Islands here. Let's go out here into the Honan Islands. These are actually not the Honan, the Bonin Islands. I know that. These are the Bonin Islands here. These are south of Japan and west of the deepest tectonic plate ridge here in the Pacific. A 4.5 earthquake struck here. Okay? It was 504 kilometers deep. This is a deep earthquake. This is a deep earthquake here in the Bonin Islands. Now, what is wrong with that picture or this picture? This only means that we're going to have another large earthquake. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. We're going to have another large 5.2, 5.3 earthquake here in this area. It could happen over here in the Mariana Trench here. It could happen all the way down here into the Mariana Trench near Guam. This seismic energy can also go north here into central Japan, maybe even into southern Japan in Kyushu, Japan. So now we're going to watch for a large earthquake here. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Okay? Mary Jo Tindell has to go. She'll be back. Have a good one, Mary Jo. We hope to see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Northern Japan up here. This earthquake happened yesterday. Okay? This is the 4.1 we told you about. This is 35 kilometers east of Kamayishi, Japan. This is only 50 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow earthquake. It's just offshore northern Japan, as you can see. Again, there are two other earthquakes on the western side of Japan that the USBS is not going to talk about for whatever reason. Let's go over here to the Aleutian Island Fault area. Also very deep earthquake fault here. This is also the edge of the plate. Okay. Here we have a 4.0. This was downgraded to a 3.9. Unreal. This is southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska. 186 kilometers southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska. 3.9, 4.0 earthquake. Over here near Acta, Alaska, we have some other earthquakes I want to show you. Why? Look at this one. We've told you about an earthquake that hit here the other day. This is another 0.5 microquake at a volcano. This is at the volcano, guys. Okay, just offshore. This is a 1.3 tremor. Right next to that is another 1.7 tremor. South offshore here, quite a bit different. This is a 1.2 tremor here. 16.7 kilometers deep. Shell earthquake. Shell earthquake. You can see all the volcanoes throughout these islands. Each and every island here was shaped by volcanic activity. We wouldn't have islands here if it wasn't for volcanic activity. Then we come over here again to Nikolsky, 186 kilometers southwest of Nikolsky, Alaska, a 4.0 earthquake. Interesting. Interesting. We're going to see more of this. We're going to see a lot more of this. This earthquake is nowhere near land. Nobody felt this earthquake. The ocean waters of the northern Pacific absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Okay? Then we continue going up here through the peninsula of Alaska. We have some microquakes. But over here, okay, this is in the western side of the Cook Inlet. The western side of the Cook Inlet. 2.4 earthquake here. 136 kilometers southwest of Akiak, Alaska. Okay? 2.4 earthquake here in the southwestern side of the Cook Inlet. We go over here. Now, I just love this. I just love this. This island gets hit with earthquakes all the time. Tons of earthquakes. Today, we have a 2.4 earthquake here. This is 38 kilometers southwest of Port Lyons, Alaska. Interesting. But what happens over here along the peninsula of Alaska here? Right over here, you can see Old Ililama volcano complex here. But right here on the shoreline. This is a 1.4 earthquake here. 1.4 tremor here. Here at Old Ililama, we have here a 0.6 microquake, allegedly. They want to tell us that this is a minus 0.6 microquake. They're saying it's above sea level. That's what the minus numbers indicate. Guess what? This is just over a mile deep. Just over a mile deep. So this is nowhere near sea level. Again, the agency's lying through their teeth about what's going on here. We drop south of Old Ililama volcano right here. This also is supposed to be minus 0.4 microquake. Guess what? This is just over a half mile deep. Just over 2,500 feet deep. Unreal. Just north of this quake. This is a 0.6. This is just over a mile deep here. We go south here. This is 1.2 tremor. This is 25.7 kilometers deep. 18 miles deep. Look at all these quakes here. around old Iliamna volcano. What is really going on? Old Iliamna volcano is building up in seismicity. We continue having earthquakes here. That only says that there's a possibility at some point in time that there could be something happening here at old Iliamna volcano. Right now, there's not much happening. But as the seismicity increases here, and yes, we've seen as many as 25 earthquakes and tremors around old Iliamna, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We go north here. This is a 1.8 tremor here at a volcano. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Interesting, huh? It really is. Then we go north here. Anchor Point, Alaska, 1.7 tremor. Again, that earthquake hit, this tremor hit in the Cook Inlet, in the water. We go towards inland part here. San Pedro Bay. This is a 1.5 tremor here. We go north. Ninilchik, Alaska, 1.4 tremor. This is even deeper. This is a 1.5 kilometers deep, 8.15 kilometers deep. Unreal. We go north here. Okay, this is even more interesting. This is a 1.2 earthquake here, tremor. This is west of Solomon, Alaska. But what they're not telling you is just north of here, we have another volcano, Mount Redoubt volcano. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is Kiski, Alaska. Let's go up towards Mount Redoubt right here. West of Mount Redoubt here, we have a 0.9 microquake. Minus 0.6. This is above sea level, supposedly. But then again, this is 2 miles deep. 2 miles deep. Deep inside Mount Redoubt volcano. Okay? This is a 0.7. USGS is trying to tell us it's above sea level. It's not. This is 28 kilometers deep. Again, approximately 18 miles deep. That's a deep quake. That's actually a shallow quake in terms of causing another earthquake. It's not going to do that. But this is deep within the volcano. Deep within the volcano. Right next to it. They're saying this is a minus 0.1. It's not. This is also just over a mile deep. Okay? This is supposedly a minus 0.3. Above sea level? Probably not. This is a half mile deep. Right next to it, out here to the west, they say this is a minus 0.6. Interesting enough, this is just over a mile deep. All these earthquakes here around Mount Redoubt right now are inside the volcano. They're inside the volcano. Okay? Interesting, huh? It really is. We go north here. This is northwest of Beluga, Alaska, a 1.2 tremor, 72 kilometers deep. Let's go over here. Susitan, Alaska here, 1.7 tremor, also 36 kilometers deep. Here, another 1.1. Quite a bit north of there, another 1.6. Over here we have Anchorage, Alaska, What do we have over here? We have a volcano. We have a volcano. Nothing is going on at this volcano for the time being. Absolutely nothing's going on at the volcano for the time being. For a while, it looked like it was going to erupt. It has calmed down now. It's gone back to a yellow status, completely yellow status. Okay? Nothing's going to happen there, at least for the time being. Anchorage residents have been spared from another volcanic eruption here. Mount Spur. North of there, this is Houston, Alaska. 7 kilometers, about 3 miles north of Houston, Alaska. This is a 1.4 tremor. 1.4 tremor. Interesting enough. Look what we have. Almost directly north. Almost directly north. We have a 1.2 tremor. Look out here to the north again. This is a 3.1 small earthquake here. Interesting. It almost lines up in a straight line. Down here to the south, just about 3 miles north of Houston, Alaska, 1.4. Then a 1.2 here. And then we come up here to have a small 3.1. Just northwest of there, a 1.7. This is a 1.5. Now, why am I talking about it? Because now we're up near the Arctic Circle here. Remember the other day I told you that this is not the Polar Circle, this is Denali, Alaska, I'm sorry. The Arctic Circle's up here. We had one earthquake just south of the Arctic Circle. So far, we don't have any earthquakes even in or near the Arctic Circle. The closest one here is a 3.0 earthquake here in Rampart, Alaska. 3.0 earthquake here in Rampart, Alaska. This is a 1.7. Okay? Let's come back here, down here to Denali, near Denali. Again, this is a 3.1 earthquake here. We go closer to Denali here, inside Denali right there. This is a 2.0 earthquake, and USGS is still not calling this Denali, Alaska. They're saying this is near Petersville, Alaska. It's not. This is Denali, Alaska here, the eastern side, southeastern side of Denali, Alaska. Also further north here and west. This is a 1.3 tremor. Further south here, 1.9. 1.9 tremor, 119 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. North of Mount McKinley, we have a 2.7. And this is the only location, this is the only earthquake they're saying it's in Denali National Park. This is the only one. This is a 2.7 just north of Mount McKinley. 2.7 minor earthquake just north and west of Mount McKinley. 128 kilometers deep. Interesting, huh? It really is. Let's go south here in Alaska. I want to show you this. This is a 1.4 tremor here near Glacier View, Alaska, near Valdez, Alaska. We go further south and east here. This is Tatalik, Alaska here. 1.5 tremor here. Right here. This is also 1.5 tremor. Tremors here. So far, they're not showing any earthquakes here. Yakutak, Alaska. Usually there are a bunch of tremors here, but they're not showing them. Why not? Are they hiding seismic activity? Probably. They probably are. Some other place like this, right here, we actually have a volcano here. They're not talking about it. Why not? It's incredible what they won't tell us about. I find it hard to believe. This volcano has been widespread. It's been having tremors and minor earthquakes here for some time. And they're not talking about it. Interesting enough. We'll go south here. This is Sitka, Alaska here. Look where it's at. It's at the volcano, guys. This is at Sitka volcano. This is a 0.4 microquake here. This is also down deep inside the volcano. This is 6.6 kilometers deep, just over 3 miles deep. Sitka volcano, guys. Sitka volcano. It's moving. It's moving. Let's go south here. See that earthquake fault coming out of Yakutak? Goes all the way here down to Queen Charlotte Island, huh? Goes all the way down here just offshore of Vancouver Island. Right offshore here to the west of Seattle and Tacoma, Washington. This is exactly where we're going to have the Cascadia megathrust earthquake, right in this area, between the Cascadia subduction zone right here and the Juan de Fuca fault. This zigzag line here is what they call the Juan, Juan, Defuca, Fuca, Juan de Fuca fault here. Between the Juan de Fuca and the Cascadia subduction zone, we're going to have an 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. We wish it was only going to be an 8, but they're saying it's going to be a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. Unreal. What do we have going on here on shore here? Right here. Quilcene, Washington here. Guess what? They're saying this is a 1.0 tremor here. Interesting enough. This is not the first tremor here. This is not the first tremor. We've had dozens of earthquakes and tremors in this area, and yet they don't acknowledge it happening. All throughout the Puget Sound area and the Strait of Juan de Fuca here, we have earthquakes all over the place, and they're not talking about it. Down here at Mount Rainier, for once, they're showing us one tremor. One tremor here. Look at this. This is a 0.3 microquake here. This is a 0.4. This is a 0.7. But they're not saying it is at Mount Rainier. They're saying these tremors happened 23 kilometers north of Ashford, Washington. These are at Mount Rainier. They're not showing the earthquakes here. They're not showing the tremors. They're only showing microquakes. Again, they don't want anybody to believe that Mount Rainier is getting ready to erupt. They're not being honest with us. These are right smack dab down the center of the volcano. This last blue one that I just highlighted, blue, guess what, guys? This earthquake right here is a half mile deep inside the volcano. The first earthquake I showed you, the 0.3, is just over a half mile deep as well, as the other one also is. Okay? Down inside the volcano, whether they want to say it or not. Down here on the southwest side of Mount Rainier, this is a 0.4 microquake here. This is also 4 miles deep. 4 miles deep. 8.4 kilometers deep. Mount Rainier. They're not being honest with us at all. There's a lot of earthquakes and tremors happening. They're not showing it. I hope once it erupts, they will. They better be honest with the public then. Over here at Mount St. Helens, they're showing one tremor here. Again, they're showing it as a microquake, a minus 0.2 microquake. But guess what? This is over 4 miles deep. This is 5.5 kilometers deep. Actually, not 4 miles, it's 2 miles deep, I'm sorry. 2 miles deep here. And again, this is not the only seismic activity happening here at Mount St. Helens. There's a lot more. There's a lot more earthquakes and tremors happening up and down the entire west coast of Washington and Oregon. But again, they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us. They're also hiding earthquakes here along the north coast of California. Not talking about it. Why not? Harbor Girl says they have a lodge in Packwood. Might be time to sell. It's possible. I will never tell you. I will never tell you that you need to move. I will never tell you that. That is a decision you must have. You must make yourself. But I give you the information so you can make an intelligent decision. I'm giving you that information so you can make an intelligent decision on your own. Yes, you can also go to the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, and you can see what's happening at the volcanoes yourself. I give you that information almost on a weekly basis because that's happening. And I believe you have the reason and desire to know what's going on. You should have it. Everybody should have it. Everybody should have it. Over here in Laytonville, California, Northern California, this is a 1.6 tremor. We have numerous earthquakes every day here, Laytonville. We drop down here to the Geysers Complex. This Geysers Complex, folks, has earthquakes galore every day. Upwards of 20 to 30 earthquakes every day. I'm going to show you 2 earthquakes here. These just happen. They're red earthquakes. They just happen. This is a 0.2 microquake. This is a 0.7 microquake. That's 1.7 kilometers deep. This is 1.9 kilometers deep. 2 miles deep. 2 miles deep. Why are we having earthquakes here? Because, folks, men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano to the north. See this body of water here called the Clear Lake volcano? Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano. They dug into the magma chamber from up here, from down here. Why did they do that? To obtain steam to power turbines to generate electricity here. Every drill point here, every drill point, seismic energy coming off the Pacific Ocean finds. They find the drill point, find the hole. And what happens? The seismic energy transfers over here and fractures rock. The seismic energy finds a hole and fractures the rock in the hole. It happens every day. There are over 30 earthquakes in this area today. 30 earthquakes. It happens every day. Every day. Right here. This is a 1.3 tremor. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you what's actually going on. I want to show you what's happening. Look at this. right here. Look where that earthquake is, 1.3 tremor. It's actually right next to the boilers here, right next to the turbine facility. But guess what? See this area just to the left? I can't zoom in any closer than that. These are the drill points. These are the drill points. Okay? So the seismic energy finds drill points and fractures of the rock in the drill points. These drill holes may be drill holes nearly straight down and span the distance between here and the Clear Lake volcano. That happens. Wherever the magma chamber is where the drill hole is. It can go straight down in the upper magma chambers of the volcano or over here, laterally across, just underneath the ground. But we still have these earthquakes here. Everywhere where you see an earthquake here, there's a drill point. They drill holes in the ground here to transfer steam from the volcano to power turbines here in this facility. All the time, every day. There's a turbine facility right here. Just to the west of there, there's also minus zero, or not a minus, but a 0.3 microquake. To the north of there, here's a 0.8. Right here's 0.3 here. Right next to these drill points here is another set of drill points. Right next to these earthquakes are a set of drill points. And every road here out of those drill point areas is PVC pipe carrying hot steam down here to the turbine facility. Spinning the turbines generating electricity for Pacific Gas and Electric, a Utah facility named Rocky Mountain Power, and two other energy conglomerates, including Southern California Edison. Incredible. That's what's going on here in the geysers. The geysers are located in Sonoma County, California. Wine country. Wine country, guys. Every day. A day doesn't go by where we don't have earthquakes there. Every day. Over here also on the San Andreas Fault. Go figure with this. Guess where this earthquake is? Can anybody guess where this earthquake is? It's a 1.6 tremor on the San Andreas Fault, just west of San Francisco Bay, just west of the San Francisco Zoo. This is a 1.6 tremor here. This happens to be 4 miles deep, 7.9 kilometers deep. 1.6 tremor here, just west of the San Francisco Zoo, on the San Andreas Fault. We come over here. This is Dublin, California. Right between the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault, we have a 1.7 tremor here. 1.7. This is 2 miles deep. We come further south. This is on the Calaveras, Livermore, California. This is a 0.8 microquake here. This is a very dangerous area. You see where the Calaveras and the Hayward and the San Andreas Fault come together? Right down here, near Monterey Bay. This is probably one of the most deadly areas because this is where 3 major earthquake faults come together. If one or either of one of these faults goes, and I'm talking about a major earthquake, the other fault will also go as well. Unreal. Further south, also on the San Andreas here, the Pinnacles. We often have earthquakes here. Not only is it on the San Andreas, but there's also oil and gas operations going on here in the Pinnacles. every day. Every day. Now, we're not showing any earthquakes down here near Parkview. Okay? Guys, this is probably, well, it is. It's not probably, it is. Right here. This city, very small city. This city is the earthquake capital of the world. It has more earthquakes than anywhere else in the world. Unreal. It's not Parkview, I'm sorry, it's Parkfield. Parkfield, California. More earthquakes here than anywhere else because it's on the San Andreas Fault. On the San Andreas Fault. We go further south. We don't see any other earthquakes along the San Andreas Fault until we get over towards Los Angeles. We come over here, okay, Tehachapi, California. This is just west of what fault? The Garlock. Just west of the Garlock. This is a 1.4 tremor here in Tehachapi. This is also 7.3 kilometers deep. Over here on the Garlock, directly on top of the Garlock Fault. This is a 1.4 tremor here. 1.4 tremor here on the Garlock Fault. Okay? Up to the north, where we got going. Over here at a quarry, Boron, California. There's a quarry here. There's a couple of earthquakes here because they're mining borax here. Mining borax. So you set TNT charges over here in the quarry to harvest borax. Okay? Over here, we have a bunch of earthquakes here. Okay? A small swarm of quakes. This is Johannesburg, California. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. This is a 1.8 tremor here. This is a 1.1. This is a 1.7. This is a 1.5. And this is a 1.3. Usually we have one or two tremors here. Now we have a small swarm. Johannesburg, California. Now I don't see hardly anything else going on except up here. This is Cyril's Valley. We don't see any earthquakes south there in Ridgecrest. This is a 1.6 tremor here, Cyril's Valley. This is a 1.0 here. We go north. Guess what? This is 21 kilometers north of Ridgecrest. 21 kilometers north of Ridgecrest. This is a 1.5 tremor. Ridgecrest is down here. Ridgecrest is right here. Cyril's Valley is over here, where I showed you those tremors there. So we have another tremor north of Ridgecrest, don't we? Right there. 1.5 tremor. 21 kilometers north of Ridgecrest. About 10 miles. Over here to the west. Little Lake, California. 1.7 tremor. One more here I want to show you. They say this is 25 kilometers northwest of Cyril's Valley. This is 0.7 microquake. Unreal. What do we have going on over here towards LA? What is this? Cudahy, California. 1.6 tremor. Baldwin Park. What do we know about Baldwin Park? Baldwin Park, guys, is an area northeast of Los Angeles. Baldwin Park. This is actually north of Baldwin Park. This is a 0.9 microquake. 12.7 kilometers deep. Guess what, guys? Baldwin Park. right down here. Folks, this is an area where they have been cutting down trees, leveling this huge, it was a park one time, full of trees, and now guess what they have? Nothing but pumps and jacks in this area. Pumps and jacks. Incredible. And now we're talking about a microquake up here north of Baldwin Park. Incredible. Incredible. And yet, I will bet if I pulled the seismogram on Baldwin Park, we would show a dozen or 2 dozen or 3 dozen or even 10 dozen earthquakes, tremors in Baldwin Park. They won't be honest with us. This is the first time in a very long time that I've even seen a microquake being talked about here in Baldwin Park or any other kind of tremor. Because guess what? They have been omitting seismic data here from Baldwin Park. They've not been even showing full seismograms of Baldwin Park, only 1 or 2 hours a day. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'll find the seismogram for Baldwin Park and I'll show it to you. Okay? Over here further to the south, on the San Jacinto Fault, Loma Linda, California. Loma Linda. This is just north of Mira Loma. This is a microquake, a 0.9 microquake. This is a 1.5 tremor in Mira Loma, southern Mira Loma. This is a 1.6 also, southern Mira Loma. Mira Loma is a hospital, or home to the hospital, world-renowned Mira Loma Medical Center. Mira Loma Medical Center right there. Incredible. We have a lot of seismic activity here. Number one, because it's on the San Jacinto Fault. 2, just northeast of there, we have the San Andreas Fault. So we're going to see more action here, but USGS is not going to show it to us. It's not going to show it to us because the seismologist is saying that any day now we could have a major earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault. Any day now. This red earthquake here, this is Redlands, 1.0 tremor here in the Redlands. For the south right here, Moreno Valley. Folks, this area here is ripe for earthquakes. The earthquakes I've shown you here are on the San Jacinto Fault. Out east, we have the San Andreas. And any day now, we could have a major 7.5 earthquake right here. Any day now. Literally. Further south on the San Andreas, Cabazon, California, is 0.8, a tremor. South and west. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is a life for me. Let's spread out the farming life. Take Manhattan and just give me the countryside. Green Acres, California. Green Acres, California. Unreal. I just saw the chat, guys. Miss Coey, you will be in our prayers. I am so sorry you are burying your son today or tomorrow. God bless you and your family. God bless you and your family. Your son today stands next to Jesus Christ in heaven. God bless you and your family. I'm so sorry to hear that he passed away. My buddy Don Patoga here in the chat has also said, Pecoe not a thing a parent likes to do. He says, I've been in this spot. God bless you and yours. God bless you. We will be praying for you. We'll be praying. I'm so sorry you've had to go through that. Further south here on the San Jacinto Fault, 1.2 tremor over here in Idlewild, California, the western side of the San Bernardino Mountains. This is 0.2 as well. Right next to it is 0.9, Idlewild, California. Idlewild is a town here in the San Bernardino Mountains. Idlewild is a skiing town, and now it's springtime. I believe that snow is probably melting from the mountains here in Idlewild. Snow is melting, but every weekend we have tourists here. And I believe we're going to have even more tourists during the week now. Why? Because Idlewild is a tourist town. They have a lot of great restaurants here in Idlewild. They also have a lot of good shops there. I've been there. It's a great place to have lunch or dinner there. Or I haven't been there for breakfast, but I know at least lunch and dinner. It's a great place. They have A-frame cabins that you can stay in, where they don't have TVs, but they have radios. They don't have TVs, they have radios. It's a great place to go hiking. It's a great place in the winter to go skiing. A great place in Idlewild, California. But they do have seismic activity here. They do have seismic activity here. Further south here, this is the Anza Gap, part of the Anza Borrego Desert State Park in northeast San Diego County. This is 0.7. Down here for the south, this is a minus 0.5. Actually, it's not minus, it's a 0.5 microquake. This is also nearly 2 miles deep. Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is 0.7 here. Anza Borrego Desert State Park. Unreal. That is on the San Jacinto Fault. Further west here in San Diego County, Lake Henshaw, just east of Escondido, California. Folks, I've been fishing here. I've been fishing here in Lake Henshaw. I've caught a lot of trout here in Lake Henshaw. A great place to go fishing. They say it's 3 kilometers east-southeast of Lake Henshaw. Guess what? It's not. It's right next to the lake, on the south side of the lake. 1.0 tremor here at Lake Henshaw. I've had a lot of good times out here with friends and getting fish from the lake for my family. Great place. Further south here, both these earthquakes, this one over Lake Henshaw and this earthquake here, they're part of the Elsinore Fault. The Elsinore Fault. This is a 0.8 here in Borrego Springs, Anza Borrego Desert State Park. Further south here, they're calling this Ocotillo Wells. Ocotillo Wells. Fascinating. Really fascinating. Look at this. This is 0.8. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is the base of the Chocolate Mountains here. The base of the Chocolate Mountains here. Let's go further south and east here. I just love this. Okay? Right here. You guys are going to see just in a minute why I said I love this. This is a 1.2 tremor here near Ocotillo. Okay? 1.2 tremor here. This is a 1.3. We have a 0.9 here. This is 0.9. This is a 0.9. And this one here is also a 0.9. Four of them. Four of them. Here at Ocotillo. Now, folks, Ocotillo is just north of what? North of El Centro Naval Air Station. El Centro Naval Air Station. Tomorrow I'm going to show you earthquakes here. Here in El Centro here. We're probably going to see at least 20 3.0 larger quakes here in El Centro. Fact. North there, Imperial, California. Here in Imperial, we're probably going to see 4 or 5 3.0 earthquakes and tons of tremors and microquakes every day. Every day here in Imperial. I'm going to go north here to Westmoreland, California, right here. Westmoreland here is going to show you some minor tremors, some minor earthquakes here. Happens all the time. Over here north of there is over here in the Salton Sea. This is near the Salton Butte volcano. This is very close to the Salton Butte volcano. The Salton Butte volcano is underwater. Here we have a 1.3 tremor here. This happens to be 5.1 kilometers deep, just over 4 miles deep, or 2 miles deep, just over 2 miles deep, right next to the Salton Butte volcano. Further over here, this Calipatria, California. We're going to show you probably 50 to 60 earthquakes here. Calipatria, California. We should show you a lot more. And maybe there are. But USGS and Caltech have been erasing the earthquakes here. There used to be upwards of 150 earthquakes here a day in Calipatria. Now we rarely see anything more than 60. Unreal. Why do we have that many earthquakes? Number one, it's just south of the volcano. Just south of the volcano. What else is going on here? Can anybody tell me what else is going on here? How about right here? Right here, we have a set of turbines, a set of 9 turbines here. We have drill points over here. These drill points are into the upper magma chambers of the Salton Butte volcano. What happens then? Seismic energy comes off the Pacific Ocean, comes over here to the drill points, and fractures the rock here in the drill points, causing earthquakes. That's exactly why we have so many earthquakes here in Calipatria. That's why we have so many earthquakes here in Calipatria. Unreal. Unreal. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's more. It's unreal. Right down here is Holtville. Holtville is a city of maybe 18,000 people now. Holtville is also the home to the Salton Sea Desert Research Station. We have a seismograph here. We're probably going to see a bunch of earthquakes and tremors here as well. That's typical. That's very typical. Now, here in the Imperial Valley, I haven't even got over here to Bombay Beach. Bombay Beach is famous for 3.0 to 4.0 earthquakes happening here every day. Multiple 3.0, 4.0 earthquakes here every day. Probably close to 10 to 15 3.0 small to 4.0 moderate earthquakes here every day. Lots of them. Lots of them. Further north here, at the North Point here, on the east side of the Salton Sea, we have North Shore Salton Sea. This is a small city here. There's another seismograph here. We're going to see tremors here. We're going to see tremors here. Whether it be Salton Sea or North Shore Salton Sea, whether it be over here at Bombay Beach, whether it be down here in Calipatria or points further south. We usually see upwards of 400 to 500 earthquakes every day. And rarely does USGS even tell us about it. Rarely. Rarely. What we're showing you here is more than enough that they're showing us. But something else. San Diego County. San Diego City. Actually, this is south of San Diego City. I just love going here to show you earthquakes here. They're showing a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here east of Chula Vista, California. Guess what? This one is at a quarry. Rarely do they ever have earthquakes here at the quarry. They have quarry blasts. And when they show the quarry blast, it's nowhere near the quarry. They usually show us a quarry blast over here in Chula Vista here in the residential area. Those in the residential area are not quarry blasts naturally. They're tremors. They're tremors. This time, USGS is also wrong again. They're showing this as a tremor. That's actually at a quarry. USGS cannot identify whether it's a tremor or an earthquake, or even at a quarry, as a quarry blast. I believe this is at a quarry blast since it's at a quarry here in Chula Vista, California. Unreal. Unreal. That's what's going on here on the West Coast, guys. That's what's going on the West Coast. Western Texas. We just had an earthquake here just recently, within the last 45 minutes. Now it's 9:02 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to let you go very soon. Demon Catman says Bombay Beach, if you look at the map of the Salt Sea, it's where you get bunion on your foot. Yeah, and it rumbles and throbs often. Oh yeah, bunions. You do. Because walking in that hard sand, and yes, it is hard sand. It's not like the normal beaches you see. Hard sand there. Causes all kinds of foot problems here. Okay? Richard Smith says, finally, Corey, I agree. Right here, this is southwestern Texas. This is a 2.2 earthquake. This other red earthquake is a 1.8 tremor. This whole area, guys, is full of oil and gas fields here. Oil and gas pumping operations. To the north, this is a 1.5. Here's a 1.6. Out here, somewhat to the northeast, Mentone, Texas, 1.4. South here, this is Toyah, Texas. This is Toyah, Texas here. Okay? Actually, this, they say, is 34 kilometers northwest of Toyah. Interesting. Oil and gas all over this area. You can actually see the oil and gas pumping operations here. This is an oil gas field here. Okay? That's 1.8. Further to the south, another 1.8. This is 1.7. This is 2.5, minor earthquake. This is a 1.1 tremor. This is a 1.6. This is a 1.7 tremor in northwest Toyah, Texas. Down here, this is a 1.5. Anywhere within 10 miles, anywhere within 10 miles of the earthquake strikes, it's in the oil and gas field. You can see the pumps here. Okay? Anywhere you see a platform like this is a pumping operation. Whether it's presently pumping or not, it's still a pumping operation because the drill hole's there. Seismic energy finds a drill hole and fractures the rock in the drill hole, causing earth movement, causing an earthquake, as we call it. That's what's going on here. All throughout this area is huge, huge oil field all over Texas. all over Texas. To the north here, Malaga, New Mexico. Malaga, New Mexico. Let's see what's going on here. Guess what? More oil fields. Look at the oil fields here, guys. They're everywhere. Let's see if we can get closer. Oh, bingo. We did it. There's no oil and gas platform there. There's no oil and gas platform there. There happens to be an electricity generation station right there. Incredible. So we actually see pumps and jacks in this area. Unreal. Even in Malaga, New Mexico. Incredible. Incredible. That's what's happening here. Go further north and east. McKinney Acres, Texas. Yes, occasionally near McKinney, Texas, we see earthquakes. Again, this is oil and gas pumping operation here. 1.2 tremor here. South here, Gardendale, Texas, also a 1.4 tremor here. That's going on. Come over here to the New Madrid Fault. Guess what's going on here? And this is not the only one. Marston, Missouri, a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here in Marston, Missouri. This is in the center part of the New Madrid Fault. The center part of the New Madrid Fault. Unreal. Unreal. Earthquakes happening here. Literally all over. Puerto Rico's still getting hit here. Here to the southwest of Puerto Rico. Again, these are aftershocks of an 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake that hit here in December, on December 26th and December 26th and December 28th, 2019. Right here, that's a 2.3 earthquake here. This is another 2.3 near Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. To the north here has nothing to do with those earthquakes. This is an earthquake north of San Juan, Puerto Rico. 3.0 small earthquake here. Okay, that's what's going on there. They're only showing one earthquake here in South America. What a joke. There's about 18 earthquakes here. I'm going to say 18 because there were 22 earlier. There's at least 18 earthquakes now here in South America, and they're showing us one. They're showing us one here at the border of Chile and Argentina, near Aguilar, Argentina. 112 kilometers west of Aguilar, Argentina. Here at the border area, in the mountains, in the Andes Mountains here. Unreal. A lot more earthquakes than that. Lots more. Lots and lots. Over here, okay, usually you don't see any earthquakes here near Tunisia, Northern Africa. Here we see a 4.4 earthquake here. This earthquake hit at just before 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Tunisia, Africa. Okay, up here to the north. Turkey. Good old Turkey. Guess where it's at? Remember us telling you about a major earthquake here just about 2 years ago? February 3rd, 2023. A 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. They don't usually show earthquakes here. Why not? I want to know. USGS, why are you not showing all the aftershocks here? This is a 4.1 aftershock of a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here 4 years ago, killing over 5,000 people and injuring over 5,000 others. Incredible. This is a 4.1 aftershock. Why are they not showing earthquakes all over Turkey? Who knows? There are earthquakes here. There's also earthquakes over here in the Aegean Sea here, in the Dokanese Islands. It's because there's a volcano there. Right here, there's a volcano. Several volcanoes. Earthquakes hitting here that they're not talking about. Why not? They should be. They should be, but they're not. They're not talking about any earthquakes in Italy. Why not? There's a bunch. Greece, there's a bunch. Why are they not talking about it? Inquiring minds want to know. Do you have any questions here? Does anybody have any questions here for me? I'm happy to answer any questions about any of these earthquakes we've shown you. Yeah, Picoy, a 10.0 earthquake, a 9 to 10.0 earthquake. Incredible. Incredible. Over 5,000 people killed, over 5,000 people injured. Incredible. Just, it blows me away. It blows me away. Now, again, do we have any more questions here? Any questions? Now, guys, last Friday, I had surgery on this eye, right here, underneath the eye here. Had a growth they had to take off. The growth had started way over here. The growth actually moved over here. So they had to get it off. So I had surgery. I still have a black eye here, right here. If you haven't noticed it already, that's why. And this past several days, I've had a hard time seeing because my eye was almost swollen shut, as you can see. Okay? It's bad enough you have to have glasses, but you have to have a swollen eye as well. Anyway, that's what's going on. Now, before we get any further out here after 9 o'clock, I want to leave you with a scripture, as I always do. Almost always do. I try to give you a devotional because I love Jesus Christ and I want to help each one of us return to Him. I want to go over one of my favorite scriptures in Romans, in the New Testament, Romans chapter 1, verse 16. It says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation for everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek." All of us, each one of us. The gospel is for each one of us to save our souls. Again, we are coming up on Easter in another little while. Celebration of Easter. More and more, I'm going to bring up scriptures to help us remind us why we have Easter, why we celebrate Easter. I love God. I love His Son, Jesus Christ. I believe. And I'm trying to help each one of us return to our Father in heaven. Please, guys, if you don't already have a testimony of Jesus Christ, pray. Get down on your knees and pray and give it a chance. Give it a chance. Get down on your knees and ask God to tell you. And I am telling you this right now. God will. I have a very strong testimony of Jesus Christ. He is our Savior. He is our Redeemer. He is our King, the light and life of the world. Just like a bushel cannot hold a candlestick, Christ is a candlestick. Christ is a candlestick, sending light out to the world. May God bless you. May God bless you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you through this Easter season on. Now, folks, if you want to help us stay on the air, on this particular broadcast, I haven't got the scroll going across the top of or the bottom of your screen. I will have that within the next day or so again. I took it down. I'll put it back up. If you want to help support this channel, You can drop us a letter or a card with a donation to 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. Also, below this video in the top of our program description, you're going to find a way to gain membership to the EMA family here on YouTube. You can do that. You can also go to our PayPal and our Venmo locations, which are right below that in the top of our program description. It helps support this program, which we greatly appreciate. It takes money to put on this program. I didn't realize that when I first started, but it does. I'm asking you all to help us stay on the air. God bless you guys. God bless you. Please also like and subscribe to this program. If you enjoyed this program, please give us a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it because it also helps the algorithm and proving to YouTube that this channel is worthy of being noticed by everyone else on YouTube. Otherwise, YouTube doesn't show this program, no matter what we do. So please share this program amongst your family, your friends, your neighbors, your extended family, to people you work with, and also to people you socialize with on social media. Share it far and wide. We greatly appreciate it. Hopefully YouTube will do that in the future. Right now we have 6,450 subscribers. We've lost a few. Last week we had over that. Please, folks, if you are subscribed, check your subscriptions and make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, also subscribe to this program. It's beneficial to you and all of us. Subscribe this program. When you subscribe this program, also click on the little bell icon right next to the subscription button. When you click on that, you get notified when we come on the air. When you click on that bell icon, you'll see a drop-down menu of 3 items. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified whenever we come on the air. We usually come on the air between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern Time every day. Today it was a little bit longer. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully that won't happen very much later. God bless you all. Thank you all for being here. I know we came on late. I'm sorry about that. God bless you and yours. We love you. We love you. EMA family, you're fantastic. You really are. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Take care, everybody. Much love. See you later.